Okay, so we got this compatibility report on Virgo and Aquarius. And honestly, astrology isn't exactly my forte, but the whole idea of these two signs, often seen as so different, trying to find common ground, that's what intrigues me.
Yeah, it is intriguing, isn't it? It's almost like trying to mix oil and water, trying to
Yeah.
blend that Virgo practicality with that Aquarian dot unpredictability. And that's kind of what we're here to unpack, right? How those energies might actually work together in a relationship.
And the report doesn't try to make it seem easier than it is. Like straight up says when it comes to that initial spark, Virgo and Aquarius,
Yeah.
probably not going to set the world on fire.
More of a slow burn, perhaps?
Yeah.
Yeah, the report emphasizes Virgo being methodical, analytical, which honestly can clash with how spontaneous Aquarius can be, especially in romantic relationships. That's tough.
Which is fascinating because the report also says Aquarius is both rational and spontaneous about intimacy. Wait, how does that work? Those feel at odds.
Right. And that's the thing with astrology, right? It's those paradoxes. Aquarians, independent, free-spirited, all that, but also ruled by logic. So intimacy, for them, they often know what they want, and that spontaneity might actually come from being so clear-headed. Meanwhile, Virgo's over there still processing, analyzing.
So while Virgo's working through all the angles, Aquarius has already run the numbers and moved on. Oof, that's got to cause disconnect from day one. Makes you wonder if they even get past that initial attraction to, like, explore anything physical.
The report gets that hurdle,
Yeah.
definitely. But it does say sexual compatibility, IS possible, just unlikely. The key, apparently, is the whole birth chart. Strong aspects there might give them the bridge they need to get over that disconnect.
So not all about sun signs then. Got to look at the whole picture. Speaking of which, this is where I got confused. The report claims that even with all that initial clashing, Virgo and Aquarius usually find they can trust each other. After everything we just said, how does that happen?
Seems counterintuitive, right? But when you dig into the WHY, it makes more sense. Both these signs value logic, rationality, dishonesty. To them, that's just inefficient, waste of energy. They'd rather be truthful, authentic.
So it's not so much that they're drawn to trust each other, but more that lying just seems pointless to both of them. Like, trust is the side effect, not the goal.
Exactly. However, the report isn't totally optimistic. Even with that trust, they might drift apart later on. Needs and desires are different. A long-term thing needs more than just not lying. It takes work, understanding.
Classic relationship advice, communication is key. Which, speaking of, the report says Virgo is ruled by Mercury, mutable quality meaning adaptable. Aquarius, though, fixed sign, way more set in their ways. Is that where the communication breakdowns happen?
Definitely a friction point, yeah. Imagine Virgo trying to talk about something tough. They choose their words carefully, always ready to adjust to find that common ground. Now, picture an Aquarius. They've thought it through, formed an opinion, not so big on budging.
So, flexible, accommodating Virgo, run straight into resolute, I'm right, Aquarius. Yikes.
And that leads to misunderstandings, especially long-term. The report even says Virgos can be too thorough for Aquarius, who'd rather skim the surface, jump between ideas.
Ouch. So not only do they communicate differently, they don't even agree on what good communication on S.
Right, and this is that classic Earth versus air conflict. Virgo, the Earth sign, grounded, detail-oriented, air signs like Aquarius. Intellectual, abstract, a little detached from the details that Earth signs find essential.
So both intellectual, but how they approach it is fundamentally different. Makes you wonder, with all this potential for clashing, where's the common ground? Can they connect on a deeper level?
They can, and the report points to a few areas. For example, even with different styles, they often have shared intellectual interests, can lose themselves in conversations for hours about anything from philosophy to art.
So maybe they bond over books instead of arguing about who does the dishes.
There you go. Finding those shared passions that bridge that earth-air gap. But even then, that too thorough thing, it can crop up even when they're on the same wavelength, intellectually.
It's like they're speaking the same language, but with totally different accents and slang.
Exactly, and navigating those nuances, essential for this pairing to really click. Each has strengths to offer. Virgo's meticulousness could be what helps Aquarius's ideas actually work in the real world.
Behind every great visionary
Is a highly organized person keeping track of the details. Precisely. But it takes respect, understanding, to make those strengths work together. Otherwise, Virgo feels stifled, Aquarius feels suffocated, and nobody wins. And speaking of things not feeling great, let's talk about emotions. That's another area where these two might hit some turbulence.
Okay, buckle up, listeners. It's about to get emotional. This report did not hold back. It straight up calls Aquarius's emotional life a roller coaster, Which, okay, air signs, we get it. You like to keep things interesting. But then it says, quote, something Virgo will probably despise. Drama much.
A little dramatic, yeah. And it goes on to explain how that difference, the way emotions are expressed, huge conflict potential there.
So how's that play out in, like, real life? Give us the scenario.
Imagine, right? Virgo wants routine, predictability, that steady emotional ground, Then you've got Aquarius, who's more into exploration, embracing the ups and downs, the unexpected. Not that they're unstable, but to a Virgo who needs consistency, it'll come across as erratic.
So less about one being right, more that they're speaking different emotional languages.
Exactly. And the report gives this example. Virgo's natural instinct is to caretake, give practical support. To an Aquarius, that can be stifling. They're independent. So Virgo's left feeling like, but I was trying to help.
So even with good intentions, it backfires. Because what Aquarius needs is just not that.
Ouch.
Sounds like a recipe for hurt feelings on both sides.
Mismatched needs, mismatched communication. It's a theme here. Learning each other's emotional language. That's the work. And the report stresses it takes effort from both.
Like trying to have a deep talk when you don't even speak the same language yet. Lots of translation needed.
And that takes time and patience and being willing to be a little vulnerable, which not everyone's good at.
Okay, so emotional landscape is tricky, but shared values. Gotta have some common ground there, right? Both intelligent signs, love knowledge, deep thinking.
They are bright, curious, but the report says even how that intelligence plays out is different.
Wait, what? How can intelligence be different?
Think about it. For Virgo, intelligence might look like practicality, mastery of details, solving problems efficiently. Aquarius, they're into the unconventional, challenging norms, knowledge for the fun of it, not just to use it.
So same tool in the toolbox, but building totally different things with it.
Perfect analogy. And that's where arguments happen. Decision-making. Virgo's like, what's logical right now? Aquarius is off on the what-ifs, the big picture, less grounded.
So while Virgo's building the house, Aquarius is designing the flying car.
You got it. And that tension, that push and pull, it can go either way, conflict or innovation.
Depends if they use those differences well, or just butt heads constantly, I guess.
Which all comes back to, are they willing to get each other's perspective?
Okay, so maybe big picture stuff is tough. But what about day-to-day? Shared activities, hobbies? Can they at least enjoy the same things?
The report suggests art could work. Both signs tend to like creativity, things that are detail-oriented.
So like pottery class, museum dates, getting nerdy in a bookstore.
Worth a shot, definitely. But, and there's always a but, even then, those core differences, they come out to play.
Oh, come on. Now even pottery is a problem. What could go wrong there?
Picture it. Virgo's at the wheel, measuring everything out perfectly. Each step precise, careful. Aquarius, they're all about trying new stuff. Unexpected textures. Maybe they splash some color on there just to see what happens.
Okay, yeah. I can see the creative differences already. One's a rule follower, the other's a rule breaker. Even in art.
And it's not just art. Virgo's cautious. Aquarius is unpredictable, socially speaking, too.
Oh, 100%. Virgo's the one having a deep convo in the corner at a party. Aquarius is one who knows everybody and might start a dance circle.
Classic introvert-extrovert thing. Can be hard, but also room for growth there if they're up for it.
So even trying to have EQN, these differences are lurking.
They are. But as we've said, friction's not always bad. It's what you do with it. Sparks conflict or ignites passion. Up to them.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of day. Attraction, how they talk, emotions, values, even how they spend their free time. Feels like we've analyzed this to death.
We've gone in depth, that's for sure. But before conclusions, remember, astrology is just one way to look at relationships.
Right, not about judging or saying you two are doomed.
Yeah.
Based on sun signs alone.
Exactly. It's about insights, right? Understanding. And hopefully having some fun along the way.
Speaking of, you ever seen a Virgo-Aquarius couple? In the wild, I mean. Living this astro drama out.
Funny you should ask. I have a friend in Virgo. She's been dating an Aquarius for about a year. And let me tell you, fascinating to watch it unfold.
Oh, dish. Does it fit what we've been saying? Or are they defying all astrological odds? So are we talking train wreck or love conquers all? Spill the tea, astrologically speaking.
It's been eventful. Let's put it that way. Definitely bumps along the way. But what's cool is they're both so willing to actually work at it. Individually and as a couple.
There's that growth theme again.
Yeah.
Got to be open to change, it seems. What kind of challenges have they hit specifically and how they deal?
Communication, big surprise. My friend, the Virgo, she's super direct, Something's up, she's calling it out right then and there. No games. The Aquarius, way more avoidant when it comes to conflict. Intellectualizes everything rather than just feeling it.
Classic clash of styles, just like the report said. So how's that not blowing up in their faces constantly?
Lots of effort and more patience than I think I have, honestly. Virgo's learning to be more tactful, you know? Like, the Aquarius needs a minute to process before solutions get thrown around. And the Aquarius, having to learn that sometimes, avoiding the issue just makes it worse.
Speaking each other's language, even if it takes a while to learn the vocabulary.
Exactly. And that's a lesson for anyone, right? Astrology aside, if the signs are supposedly bad, effort. You got to meet in the middle.
Finding that compromise between being true to you and adapting to who you love.
And often, doing that is how you figure out stuff about yourself you wouldn't have otherwise.
Relationships make you a better person, that whole deal. Seems like they're proving it true.
They are. They challenge each other, for sure, but there's support, too. And honestly, they laugh together. A lot. Which is huge for both of them.
Important. That shared humor. Gets you through the bad stuff. Makes the good stuff even better.
100%. Things are tense. Crack a joke. You remember, oh yeah, I like this person even when they're driving me nuts.
So, testament to communication, compromise, and a good sense of humor. Who knew?
Right. Proving those doomed pairings, it's not always doom and gloom. If you're both really in it, trying to understand each other's weirdness.
Which I feel like is a good note to wrap this on. Not about finding that perfect astrological match, but finding a person, someone who gets you. Stars or no stars.
Perfectly said. Astrology is cool, it's insightful, but it's not the whole story. Don't write something off before it begins. That's what I've learned.
So to everyone listening, Virgo, Aquarius, whatever your sign is, the real compatibility, it's that human connection. Astrology can give you hints, but you write your own story.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And who knows, maybe those bad matches are the ones that surprise us most.
And on that note, we're wrapping up our Virgo-Aquarius deep dive. Hope you enjoyed this little astro adventure. And remember, whether it's love, friendship, whatever, the stars can guide us, but they don't decide for us.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep connecting, and don't forget to look up at the stars every now and then.